Thanks for having me on. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 3D tours and pretty much the value and how they work and how you guys can use them. So first off, I'm Brad from Windows Still, and we're located. We started in Lansing, and we're pretty much all over all of the state and a couple other states too. But so we leverage the 3D tours quite a bit lately since COVID. First off, let me show you guys. So some of you guys have probably already seen what like the 3D tours. You've probably seen like the Matterport 3D tours or like the Zillow 3D tours that they're starting to come out with. And if you haven't, let me show you guys an example of what they look like. And then from there, I can kind of show you how you guys can take advantage of them. So, so here's one here's what you actually get. So what you can do with these 3D tours is you can actually walk around the house and then just check out the house, going through the house. So as you guys can tell, it's kind of like doing like an open house. You could walk through the open house, go check out the house, check everything out. So that's what they are. There's two different ones that they have. There's a Matterport version, and then there's also a Zillow version. We can go in a little more in depth on later, but just kind of the concept of what they are. You can just move through the house freely versus where all you can see is the photos. So this does allow you to see a lot more of the house versus like what sometimes you only can see like the photos where the photos are pointed. You can't always see what's actually through the whole entire house. So that's kind of one thing with the 3D tours is they're a lot more self-guided versus like the photos. You can try to self-guide them, but we could walk through the house and go check out every single thing in the house. So that's why they are becoming a lot more popular. And since COVID, they have become very popular. This is pretty much one of our number one add-ons. It actually is our number one add-on that people add on for when they work with us, just because the fact that you can look through the whole entire house and you can see everything before you actually go to the house. So then you can kind of eliminate getting so many people in the house that are not needed. So that's kind of what they look like. What you guys can do with them. So kind of how they work is we have a camera, and then this camera actually goes through and creates 3D tour with either whatever platform you want us to use, the Zillow 3D tour or the Matterport 3D tour. And either one of them are perfectly fine. Some people like one, some people like the other. They both have their benefits. We can go over those later. Kind of how it works is we just take the camera, we go through the whole entire house, we set the camera all around the house, and then pretty much scan the whole entire house and turn it into this 3D model, which you can use to pretty much leverage to use to help sell the house.
Brad?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to jump in really quickly. Would you say that the 3D tours are replacing the standard virtual tour done through just a stagnant video?
Yeah, so there's a different. So here's what I always tell everyone when they want either video or a 3D tour. The 3D tour is more self-guided versus the video, which is more like it's whatever way we put it in that order, and that's all you get. So it's kind of like the video is more like you only want to show them what you want, but the self-guided tour with the 3D tour is they can pretty much go see the whole entire house. And we've had several people buy houses just by using the 3D tours without even going there. So that's pretty much the big difference between the walkthrough videos and the 3D tours. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I personally love the 3D tours over the traditional real estate video because you can go at your own pace and really look at certain features that matter to you in detail. And there is no cheesy music usually with the 3D tour like you see in so many real estate videos.
Yep, yeah, so true. And a lot of the videos that I always tell everyone, like the videos are probably more. I always tell everyone the video is really for branding versus it's really more branding for you versus the 3D tours. Because 3D tours are probably gonna help sell the house faster than the video will, because you got to think about where these things are going to be posted. So that's another big thing with the 3D tours is how is anyone actually going to get access to them? Photos are really easy to post. We post the photos and they go anywhere online. You put them on the MLS and they just work everywhere they go. They're supposed to just work. But with the 3D tour, you add that in to like on the MLS, and sometimes some of them work well on Realtor.com, some of them work well on Zillow. So it just depends on which one you have and what the benefits are. So that's kind of the biggest thing you have to remember when you are doing the 3D tours is how are you actually going to get it to the people that actually want to see the house. So, and then, but once you figure out which one you like for example, Matterport, the 3D tour for Matterport, it works really well on Realtor.com, and because it just once you're scrolling through on Realtor.com, it shows up right away. It says, hey, this one has a 3D tour, and the Matterport one pops right up. It comes right up. And on Zillow, if you put that same Matterport link, it shows up in like the details. So you have to kind of search for it. Well, and we all know Zillow, they like to have their own hands in everything. So that's why they had their own 3D tour. So, and their 3D tour works really well. A lot of people have been switching to the Zillow 3D tour because we can take that link and post it anywhere, and it works as a 3D tour as well. So it shows up on Zillow, and you can also post it, so then it will show up on Realtor.com as a virtual tour. But that same Matterport link won't show up on Zillow as easily. So it's kind of back and forth on what you guys like. So just the biggest thing is about the 3D tours, you have to remember how is it going to actually get to the clients, to people that want to actually see it. You guys got any questions on that? Anyone that's on here at all?
Yeah, I have a question actually. So can an agent brand a 3D tour, say on Matterport, by like throwing their logo on there or putting their contact information and name like on the dollhouse view?
Oh yeah. Okay. So there's so how that works. So you can't actually do it for like the MLS compliance stuff. You can't, like, we have a specific link, and you'll notice if they're not compliant because people will post their Matterport link and they'll have all their information on there, which that one's not the MLS compliant one because we can't use all that information on there. But there is a way to make like a tag. We can put, so realistically what you can do is, you know how you guys put your business cards when you go into the house and you're showing the house, and then you put your business card down. You can make they call it a matter tag, where you can have so realistically you could put that on the table and it could have your link with all your information on it. So there is a way to do that, but you can't do it on the actual, like the dollhouse view, because that one actually is like ours. So you could if you had your own account and then you set it up that way. So you could do it that way. Does that make sense? I don't have a one with a matter tag on it, but I have come across that idea to pretty much put it down like a business card. So you could put it on the countertop and you could just click on it, and then you could have all your information there. So you could say, hey, here's my phone number, email, here's my website, and you could just go from there. So that's an idea, but no one's actually done that yet, but it's an option. You guys got any more questions? Ask away before we can go on to some other stuff too.
So far, that is all that I have seen come in.
Sweet. Let's see. So 3D tours, we talked about what they are, kind of how they works, and then pretty much the value during COVID, and kind of how you can post them. So back onto that. So another thing on actually posting these to use them to leverage to help you sell houses. So there's a way to do it, and there's good ways and bad ways how to do it. And I really like the marketing side of all of this. So I want to make sure I share this with you guys. But there's a couple companies in Michigan that have done really, really, really well on how to use their 3D tours to market houses. And if you guys want who that is, I can send you that like private message and stuff like that. But what they do is they take, like, we give you a 10-second, let me see if I got one on here. We give you like a 10-second video. Let me see if I got one. I don't have one real fast for you, but it's like a 10-second video, and all it is it's like a brief, which you guys have probably actually seen. where it just like it zooms, like it's inside the house, it kind of turns around and it zooms out of the house, goes around and comes back in. It's like a 10-second video. And what that is it's like a kind of like a little teaser video. And that's good for, like, pretty much it's good for running on Facebook. I wouldn't use it for anything else besides just like using it on Facebook to pretty much attention. Like, you're going to get attention on that. You can run ads for that. And that's what they do. They run ads just for that video. And they've done really well. And they've done it for, I think, probably like 5 to 10 years now. Pretty much since Matterport came out, they've been using it to leverage. Pretty much they've been using it since it started. But anyways, that 10-second video works really well to leverage to help sell the house and to help you guys get more clients. So that's what I would use. So let's say kind of how you could use it to get businesses. Use that video and then probably post the address and stuff on there. And then if you guys want to put your link on there to wherever you want them to go, but that would be a good idea. Does that make sense?
Yes. Do you have an example of one of those videos?
Yeah, let me see if I can, give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna pull one up. I can download one real fast. Doesn't work. Okay, let's start again. Sorry, had to cough.
No worries.
Okay, here we go. I got one for you guys. So as you can tell, it's a pretty quick video, but all it is actually for, like, I pretty much just use it for like Facebook ads or like Facebook posts, and it works pretty well for that. But because all you can tell is actually just like a kind of like a preview of the house, and it does pretty well because the whole goal of it is pretty much to create attention, and it works pretty well. I use them quite a bit, and I see that one brokerage use it all the time. And between them and like the other people I see, they've probably done the best at marketing it. And they just use it to run Facebook ads, and then they run them to the tour, like a landing page, and then run them to the tour, and then of course then collect their data from there. And that works pretty well. That's probably the best way I've seen to do it. Other than that, I have seen a lot of people post the link just to this 3D tour. Just remember, if you post like links on Facebook, they're not going to rank as high. So just be aware when you're posting that. Like, probably post this tour, like that 10-second video, and then say, hey, I'll send you send you a message with the link, and that'd probably do better. But what do you think of that 10-second video?
It was cool. I liked it. So it seems like you probably find the 2 most interesting or photogenic rooms, and maybe sometimes it's 3 or 2, who knows, and kind of focus on them to pique interest, to pull people in to look at the full Matterport.
Correct. Sorry. Just a second.
That's all right. That's the beauty of being live.
I'm gonna get some water. Just a second. There we go. Much better.
Welcome back. You didn't miss anything.
Yep. Sweet. Okay. Yeah. So that 10-second video is just created by Matterport, and they actually, just how they do it. like we can't actually adjust it, but it works pretty well because most of the time they actually just use the kitchen and then like a living room and something like that. And because I haven't seen them where they've done like a downstairs bedroom and then back to the bedroom, so they've done pretty well at making sure it looks good, but it works pretty well. We do have a couple different ones of them, but that's the one that I normally use.
Is there any kind of prep that the client needs to go through outside of your normal photo prep to get ready for a 3D tour to be done in their home?
Yeah, so we made it super easy. So besides, like we have a nice easy checklist on our website. So, okay, so on our website, just windowstill.com, we have all the way at the bottom, it says get your house ready. And we have a nice easy checklist that walks you through every single thing that you need. And this is pretty much for a photo shoot. I would still do the same exact thing for like the Matterport, because if you do the same, like the Matterport and like the Zillow 3D tour, we have to keep them, like the house has to look exactly the way you want it. There's like no editing we can do. Like we can delete scans, but you can't like, hey, I need to edit out the portraits all in the house. We can't do that because that's just like the 3D tour doesn't allow that. But we like to make sure we always have like are aware of all the things we can edit. So sometimes they, like right now they started adding where we can add in like words, the rooms and stuff like that. So we add those in there. But pretty much the same thing as you do for a photo shoot. And then of course, like the physical different things that we do versus that in the photo shoot. We have to open all the doors and then pretty much just make sure everything's exactly the way you want it right before we do it. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You got any more questions?
So would you recommend a 3D tour on every house, or are there some houses that probably don't need it? Like for example, my 900 square foot house, you're probably not going to get very much, maybe four pictures
Yeah.
in a Matterport. But is there a certain type of house that you recommend that this works best for?
Yeah. Okay. So what I always tell them is if someone calls and they say, hey, do you want to should I do the 3D tour? So first off, let's just say before COVID, and then we'll talk about during COVID. But before, here's what I would do, because most of the time when we take our photos, we make sure that we can pretty much see down all the hallways and kind of see the direction of how the house looks. So if it's in a normal subdivision and the house are all the same and they're all the same order, those are the ones where we don't like. You can save your money on that if you don't want to, because those ones we can easily show the direction of the house. Like the goal of the 3D tour is to show the layout of the house. And if we can do that with the photos, then it's might as well save your money on it and then keep and just have us do the photos for that. But for like a unique house, like we did this one, a very, very unique house. Like this one, there was no way the photos were going to show where the direction of this house was. So anything that's out of the standard, so the normal subdivision ones, those ones, you don't really need to unless you just want to say, hey, I do 3D tours in every single listing, perfect. But like if you're just like, hey, which ones should I use it on? It's the ones that are very unique and the ones that are not your standard or the customized house or, hey, we added this on this house and stuff like that. So some, like the subdivision ones, not needed, but the unique ones. Does that help?
Yes, that clarifies. Thank you.
Yep. What other questions you guys got?
It doesn't look like I have any at this time.
Okay. I was trying to come up with some more things because I mean, we pretty much kind of covered the concept of everything and then the 3D tours. Is there more you think we should cover or more questions? At least get me on an idea of one that we should go towards. I totally ramble on, so if we get something going. Let's see, cost. Okay, so for cost, we do have, so for us, we do offer, if we just go out for the Matterport, it's $179, but if we are already there, it's $129. So most of the time it's $129 for the Matterport, and then for the Zillow 3D tour, it's $75. And the Zillow 3D tour is actually the one, like I said, the one that a lot of people are kind of switching to. So that's what we've been doing a lot more of. So.
Is there a timeline as far as how fast you can get these turned around? Obviously, it's going to depend on, everything that you have going on and how much, work. Obviously, a 3,000 square foot home is going to be much different than a 1,000 square foot home.
Yep.
But is there a typical expectation that an agent can have on how quickly these are going to be coming back to them after the
Yeah.
day of the shoot?
Yeah. So what we do is, well, if someone called and asked us when they want it done, we most of the time can do it like in the next couple of days. So we do have like 38 of us, so we can do a lot of kind of moving around, make sure we can do stuff. Like we're probably going to get a lot of calls today just for people wanting like tomorrow or today actually. So time frame for that is pretty short. We try to keep it within 3 days. You can always schedule. But while we're actually at the photo shoot, like the 3,000, we can probably do them in like, I would say like an hour. But if it's like a 5,000 square foot, probably more like 2 hours maybe. But most of the time now that they switched, like the cameras are getting faster. Like they used to take double the time of what they're doing now. And like Matterport's just been updating stuff. And then once we're done at the photo shoot, like Matterport has changed dramatically on their processing times too. So they used to take, I mean, you and I, like when we uploaded them the day before, we didn't even get back till the next day and like sometimes later. But now they're just like, they're doing them in a couple of hours and they get them all done. And then we're able to send them then if we needed to. And then the Zillow 3D tour, like those ones probably take maybe about a half hour to do those. And those ones are pretty much done instantly. Like 15 minutes after we leave, they're pretty much on your account if they're, as long as they're, like if the listing's live, once we leave the photo shoot, it can be live like right when we leave. And then that one's pretty much ready to go. But most of the time we edit some of the 3D tour with the Zillow, so we still deliver them the next morning. So most of the time, we always just say everything's delivered the next morning. Like right now, we're delivering everything from yesterday, and it's almost already all sent. So it's kind of the time frame.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, thanks.
It looks like we have some questions too about aerial footage, when to use it, and the cost.
Oh yeah.
Is that even something that you guys do?
Yep. Yeah, so pretty much we do. If you guys got questions on other service too, we do offer quite a bit. And I'll just show you what you offer, and then we can go to that question just in case you guys got more questions too. So we do pretty much photos. We do, so pretty much interior and exterior photos. We do the drone, we do the Matterport, we do the Zillow 3D tour, virtual staging, floor plans, interactive floor plans, websites, pretty much you name it. There's a ton of them. So if you guys have any questions on those, ask them away. But for the aerial, it's kind of the same concept as the Matterport. In the subdivisions, you don't really need them as much because you have, like they're all in the same area and you kind of know where they're all at. But a unique property, like something that has land, that's of course the one you want to use it on. Because like let's say you have 10 acres, but when you take the photos, it looks like there's like just the mowed part around the house, where the drone would actually be able to take the photo and we can put the property lines in to show the 10 acres. And just by seeing that, like if I was scrolling through on Zillow and I went through, so we have to think about how people are actually scrolling through and looking at these houses. So something with acreage, if I scrolled through and saw, and then saw this house, I'm like, oh, this is an awesome house. And I flipped through it and I was like, oh man, I was looking for like 10 acres. And then I just happened to have one photo in there that showed the property lines. It said like 10 acres. I'd be like, whoa, what's this? Let me start looking at this a little more. So just that simple thing with the acreage, and then us adding the property lines and stuff like that, that helps out a ton. But for cost for those, we do, if we're already at the photo shoot, it's $120 for the drone. And we can, I mean, we always say we're going to give 5 photos, but we're not going to, we're gonna minimum of 5 is what we give you, and then we're gonna just take as many as we need while we're out there. We're not gonna say, hey, we need to leave now. We took 5, we're done. No, it's whatever we need to do to take while we're out there. It's gonna give you. So, does that help for the aerials? Actually, you know what? Another thing for the aerial photos is what you can do is I've seen, like, let's say you have one house in the subdivision and you're like, hey, I work the subdivision all the time. You can just have us take like photos of the subdivision while you're there. And then you can use those for all your listings. Like you're like, hey, can you just, instead of taking the photos of the house, can you just take photos of the subdivision and then with the drone, and then I can use that for all my listings. So that's another option too, because then you can just use those for all of the, like anything in that subdivision. So we do have, I mean, several of you guys work in different subdivisions. You're like, hey, I've got this master, as this whole subdivision's mine. So, and those ones work really well. Does that make sense?
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there are some limitations to using drones, correct? Like I know that the Capitol building is one of them. You can't fly it in a certain perimeter of that. And I feel like they're in the airport here. Yeah,
so there's, so we do have, so I'm actually a pilot too, like I can fly jets and other airplanes and stuff like that. So, so I kind of know like the rules a lot more than someone that's just getting into it. I'm not saying I know more than anybody else, but that kind of gave me a leverage when we trained all our photographers to get their drone license and get everything on there. So around the Lansing airport, the only thing you can't get approved for going into is like within 1 mile of the airport. So when we get close to airports, we have to get approval. So not every single time you can actually get approval. Like if there's like a temporary flight restriction, we're kind of stuck and we can't, like physically can't do anything. And that's not, we can't just control when the president wants to come to Michigan. So those things, there's things that do hold us back for the drone stuff, but most of the time it's kind of rare that we aren't able to get the drone photos. Like we did have one the other day that was exactly 1 mile from the airport, like half of the property. Like we could fly it on half of the property. Like we had to, so like the border, here's their property and the border stopped right here. So we could take photos right here. So there was we've run into that before, but so yeah, there's things you can't fly. And then the biggest thing I see is people don't like, we see a lot of like people taking drone photos and then like they don't have a license, and that's where you can really get yourself into trouble with that. But all of us have our drone license. It's required just for commercial operations. So anything that's going to further your business, so pretty much anything that's for listings, you have to have at least a 107 drone license, and all of us have that. And so if you guys know anyone that has a drone and they want to get it, they can get it, and then you can use stuff for your drone stuff, or drone for like your real estate stuff. So like if you have a drone, you're like, hey, I just want to go get my drone license so you can go fly or to use it for commercial use. So if you have it, you actually can't, if you don't have your license, you can't use it for real estate stuff. So, but just get your license. It's super easy. You take the course and it doesn't take long. You go take the test and you're all set. So
an agent is,
that help at all?
agent is much better off just hiring somebody to do drone photos instead of going in on Amazon and buying a drone and trying to do it themselves. That is pretty much bad news bears.
Yeah, more questions?
Yeah, please, if you have any other questions coming in, now is the time to put them up. I don't see anything right now, but Brad, I see that you do some work in Livingston and Oakland County sometime. Do you service the full Lansing area? I know we have listings that are pretty far west or pretty far north. Are you willing to come out to all of those areas, or are there some hard limits you have?
So our hard limit is probably Hawaii. Just kidding. So probably we would go there too. We do have almost all of Michigan covered, and then down to Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania right now. We do have photographers all over. There is 38 of us right now. By next week, we should have 40, I think 42. We have a couple of them training up right now. So anything around like the Lansing area, there's nothing that we can't cover that's in our normal area already. So we started in Lansing, is where we kind of started the company at. And like right now, I'm in Eaton Rapids right now. That's where our office is at. But we pretty much started in Lansing, and that's where we've started growing. And then over in Livingston County, was our second location. And then we just pretty much started growing all of Detroit, and Detroit's like our busiest area. And then we worked over to Grand Rapids, and then up to Traverse City, over to Saginaw too. And then we just started like finding all the states below us now. So we do have lots of people. So like I said, we do make sure that, like, if you can't schedule within 3 days, then I need to hire more people. Like, that's my requirement. And we try to make sure speed, because we know you can't sell your house. I mean, you can't make money unless we go and take the photos. Of course, you could post it and stuff like that. But if you're somebody that uses photos every single time, then you can't make money unless we go out there. So we know that like speed is like the number one thing. So speed and quality is what we try to stick with. So like I said, we'll have tons of people calling for tomorrow. And then like, I'm sure we're going to get a call for somebody that says, hey, can you do today? So timing, speed, and then we can pretty much cover everywhere any of you guys are at right now. Unless it's like I said, Hawaii. So we're going to have, by next year, we should have several more states covered too.
I mean, that could be a great way to write off a vacation.
Yeah. Like, where are we going, guys?
So on a day like today, I'm not sure what it's like where you're at, but here in Holt, it's pretty crappy outside. This probably wouldn't be an ideal time, at least for a drone photo shoot. Is that probably your only limitation? I would imagine you could do Matterports in any kind of weather.
Yeah. So actually, I had this conversation with somebody like 10 minutes right before you called, before we got on this call. So most of the time, so we've actually probably, last year, I think of only two days for the whole year, we couldn't get the outside photos. We were able to get them while we're there or during that day sometime. But I think it's maybe just 2 days last year. So I don't know if we'll run into it yet today because, well, actually, let's see. Yeah, she hasn't responded back to me yet, so I'm guessing she probably got it done. Because we always add blue skies in. So if we ever need to go back, we'll go back the next day to go get the drone stuff. But most of the time, we are able to get it in the same day at some point. Because the inside stuff, of course, that's where we need like the homeowner's permission. We need to make sure we're there. We can get into the house. But like the outside stuff, if we need to come back, like, hey, I'm going to come back at 3 p.m. while we're coming back by there, we can do that and grab the drone photos. So rain, unless it's like downpouring rain, that's probably our only thing we can't do.
It looks like there's a question in the chat, and please clarify if I have mistaken the meaning, but it looks like somebody is wondering the best way to get a hold of you, if you prefer email or if you prefer phone calls, and if so, what's your phone number?
Okay, I'll put our website in there, and I'll just give you our emails too. But our website, we do have just windowstill.com, which is, let me just pull it up. So just windowstill.com will be their easiest one, and then it should have all our information on there. We are all over Facebook and all over pretty much all the social media. If you want to get a hold of us fast, just on social media is probably the best way. Either way, I mean, we have a live chat down here. Our phone number, I'll put in the chat too. But somebody's on the phone number at all times. We do have 4 people monitoring that now, which I'll put in the chat there too. We do have, like I said, 4 people monitoring it, and we do have people pretty much working all the way from 8 in the morning. Well, I'm here at 6, so 6 in the morning till probably about 9 o'clock at night, or have somebody available to answer questions. And then after that, just whenever available. You guys know how it works. So there's our phone number, and then here's our email. If you guys want to see like the work that we have, I just threw it on Facebook's probably the best way we post stuff there all the time. We just started doing videos. Some of you guys may have seen I've been posting it, but let me just pull up our Facebook page if you guys want. This is probably the best way to see all of our work. Because you can look at our website, but this is where we keep it consistent and make sure we post stuff all the time. So just windowstill.com or windowstill for our Facebook page. We just post all our stuff on there. We do have like a Michigan buy-sell group for real estate. We do, which we've been working pretty hard at keeping it just listings in there, and then helping get the community in there. So you guys can check that out too. More questions? Anyone got anything?
I do not see any that have came through. But like I said, this will be posted up later on our YouTube, and you can actually access the Facebook Live at any time in our private Facebook group. Brad, thank you for joining us. These things usually are 20 minutes, half an hour. So I think we had good timing here, and I appreciate you coming out and sharing all this with us. And if you guys need anything further, you have Brad's contact.
Yep, thanks. If you guys need anything, just let me know. We're always willing to help. So thanks.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Have a great day and stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks. Bye.